Hello everyone, it's me, Mist. I have less hair, but I have more motivation to present to you today all the DLCs in Autobahn 4. So, this video is part of the series of tutorials that I'm going to make about Autobahn 4 to explain you all the basics in the game. So the first one was about the basics in the game, in the gameplay, etc. And even if no one watched it, basically, which is kind of disappointing, you can imagine that a 30-minute video is going to be a pain in the ass to make. Like, it's 2 hours of recording, a lot of tries, and a long time to edit, and it's mainly text, so it's not a pretty fun thing to edit. So you can imagine that, yeah, it's kind of disappointing to see that hours of work are just vanishing into the void of YouTube, but it does not matter because I'm still going to make the rest of the videos that I intended to do. So the second one I'm going to make is about all the DLCs in the game, to explain you which DLCs gives what type of content, which content, etc, etc. So let's start by presenting you all the types of DLCs that Autobahn 4 has to offer to you.
Said you'd never love anew. I wondered if I could hold it and fall in love with it too. You told me to buy a pony, but all I wanted was you.
So firstly, there is 3 types of DLCs in the game: the major DLCs, the content packs, and the musics and cosmetics. And everything I just told you is completely wrong, because Autobahn 4 just announced us 2 new kinds of DLCs, which consist to like content pack, I believe, and the country pack DLCs, which is just a focus tree for one country, which is anyway, for the moment, at the time I'm recording these videos, there is only 3 types of DLCs. So to explain, the major DLCs are going to give you content for countries, but there is also going to be a plus, a new mechanic, a new gameplay, a new thing added to the games that you can only access through a DLC. The content pack are just some focus trees for some countries, like in a region or something, and the musics and the cosmetics, which are, I'm not going to present them to you because firstly I bought none of them, and secondly it's useless as fuck. So the major DLCs are from the oldest to the most recent one: Manzagan, which is going to be integrated in the game, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. La Résistance, I don't know if you knew it, but I'm French. No Step Back, Blood Alone, Arms Against Tyranny, and the last one, the last one. And for the content packs, there is War of the Bosphorus, Trial of Allegiance, and Graveyard of Empires. So let's start with the major DLCs, which are Manzagan, who came out in 2039. So this one is going to be integrated into the game, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. At the time I'm recording this, it's still the case, but it was a Navy improvement. So this video took so much time to make that because of my exams and because I don't have time for it, that the new DLC is already out. For God's sake, I'm going to lose my sanity. And I'm really sorry, I'm going to present it later on in the video, but I'm not going to add it on my tier list because I haven't bought it yet. For the simple reason that firstly I don't have time for it, secondly $30. What the fuck is that? It's way too expensive. Secondly, I wanted to talk about it in this video, but I just quickly removed it. But because of that new price, I just want to say that I'm really pissed off about that, and also about the new thing that is called the country pack, which is for me a really stupid thing. Like, there was so much potential for Eastern Europe to have a new DLC for Romania, Yugoslavia, and maybe Albania, and of course Czechoslovakia, sorry. But fact is, yes, that concept is stupid to me, and the new DLC is so expensive, and I don't have time to make this video. So I'm going to present the new DLC anyway later on, and I'm sorry if this video came so late. La Résistance, which is a DLC that came out in 2020. So La Résistance is adding a spy system. That spy system is going to give you the ability to build a network, and it's going to give you a brand new menu for intels. It also had a new focus tree for France, which is still very bad, and actually I'm working on a mod to add a new focus tree to France. It's only like in my mind, but I'm starting to put my ideas on paper. There is also a focus tree for Portugal and Spain. The next DLCs that came out is No Step Back, who came out in 2021. It adds the editable tanks, so basically you can edit your tanks. You have more specific items for your tanks, etc. So it's basically like for the Navy, but for tanks. There is a new focus tree for USSR. At that time, it was a new focus tree for USSR, and now with the DLC, you have a new alt focuses. There is also a focus trees for the Baltics and for Poland. It also has a rework of the Officer Corps panel. You can now add some spirits of the armies, and you have also Special Forces doctrines. Blood Alone, which came in 2022, it's a DLC that is adding some editable planes, so same thing, you can edit your planes. There is also a new Italian focus tree with some more alt focuses. This DLC also has a new focus tree for Switzerland, Ethiopia and Sultanate of Hausa, a new peace treaties options, medals of honors for divisions, so sometimes when they win a battles you can give them a medal that is going to add some more stats, and there is also the embargo diplomatic decision. Arms Against Tyranny, which came in 2023, so basically the year where I started to play the game. So you have the new panel, which is an international market, so you can sell things and buy things for economic surplus, so it's basically to help your economy. You also have a new focus tree for Finland, same thing, some new historical focuses. You also have a focus tree for all the Nordics nations, so basically Denmark, Sweden, Norway and Iceland. And you can now also specialize your manufacturers for weapons, for equipment, etc., which is basically the thing where you can edit the stats that you're going to get for your weapons, your artillery, your industry, etc., etc. The last major DLCs that came out in 2024, in November 2024, I can't precise because I was there, is Gotterdammerung. So basically it had a new focus tree for Hungary and a complete rework of Germany. You also have now some focus trees for Austria, Belgium, and the country basically came out at the time, but a new focus tree for the Belgium Congo. It also has new raid decisions and more special projects for the game. So like the rest of the DLCs, once a major DLC is coming out, even a small DLC, a content pack, etc., a new major update is coming too. So for example, to add new provinces, to add new regions, to add for example, with the last content pack DLC, new puppets, etc, etc, and it's going to change a lot. Fact is, Paradox loves to tell that it's coming with the DLC, which is the case, but not in the DLC, so you have content even without. For example, special projects are coming down with Gotterdammerung. So there has been an update with Gotterdammerung that was adding the special projects, but you still have them without any DLC. But with Gotterdammerung you have more of them. Fact is, it still said that it was in the DLC, like if the DLC was adding that. So the new DLC, No Compromise, No Surrender, is adding a new focus tree for China, Communist China, a focus tree for the Philippines. So with the new update, Japan received a brand new focus tree, but for the historical branches, it's still the old shitty ones. So with the DLC, like for the US, like for the USSR, like for Germany, etc., like for all the major countries, with the DLCs you're going to get more historical branches. This DLC is also adding a brand new rework for the faction, which is super cool. You have no influence in the faction, you can cooperate more, technology sharing, you can add purpose, you can edit your faction rules. The only thing I can show you is actually images from Paradox, and I'm really sorry, but this DLC is really expensive, so I do not suggest you to buy it right now. They will never do that, but I hope that they're going to reduce the price, or at least you can go on instant gaming and the DLC is going to have a reduction. Anyway, this DLC is cool, I'm going to add in my tier list anyway. So now let's go to the content packs. So content packs are just going to add more focus trees. For example, Battle of the Bosphorus, which came in 2020, just added a focus tree for Greece, Turkey and Bulgaria. Trial of Allegiance, which came out in 2024, 4 years after the last one. So this DLC is focusing South America by adding a focus tree for Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay and Paraguay. And the last one, which came out in 2025, is Graveyard of Empires. So it's a complete rework of the British Raj, and it's going to also add focus trees for Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan. So now that you know more about all the DLCs, I'm going to give you a personal ranking on which one you should buy last and mainly first. So let's start by the bottom of it. Obviously do not buy Man the Gun because this DLC is going to be integrated into the game, so it's useless as fuck to buy it now. So the last one I suggest you to buy are obviously the content pack DLCs because it's just more content for countries, but there is nothing out of it. So the last one you should buy is Triumph of Allegiance because it gives a lot of new focus trees, like 5 in one DLC. It's huge, but South America is a place where you should not play at all. Like, you do not have a great impact into the World War and anything. It's not a fun place to play, so I do not suggest you to buy it, even if the content is not too bad actually. Like, a lot of people are going to complain a lot to Paradox for that, and I can understand, but it's not so bad. Just buy it last. War of the Bosphorus is a really old DLC compared to the others, but still really fun to play. Like, Turkey has great content, Greece still kind of up to date, even if it could get a little rework, and Bulgaria is like, I did not know that it came out in Battle of the Bosphorus, and it's such a fun country to play, really. Once you've understand everything in that country, you're just going to have a lot of fun. And the last content pack to buy is Graveyard of Empires. The region is pretty fun to play in, like the Middle East and the in part of Asia, and the countries, even like Iraq, still have some good content, and they improved it a lot, so the bugs are mostly gone and the content just improved again and again. So even if it's not the best DLC in the game and that it came out with a lot of bugs, it's still the best content pack. So the worst major DLC to buy is Arms Against Tyranny. So the international market is kind of cool, but it's mainly useless. Like, you're not going to use it a lot, even as a miner, because you need to give a bit of your industry to buy equipment. But as a miner, you don't have to waste on your industry to buy equipment, and you can give equipment because you have none. So you're kind of stuck, and as a major, buying equipment is useless, and you have the industry to make equipment. But it's still a cool DLC. Like, the Nordic countries are kind of fun to play. You still have influence in Europe in the main conflicts. The other worst DLC is La Résistance. So the spy system is really useful, but the focus trees are kind of mid. For example, Spain and Portugal are some really old focus trees, and France has a really poor focus tree. Like, man, I'm snoring. I'm sleeping when I'm playing France. And the spy system is kind of useful, but it's still old. The third one is Blood Alone. So Blood Alone received a lot of critics because it had focus trees for Ethiopia and the Sultan of Hausa, which are some miners, useless nations in Africa. So it's kind of fun to play as Ethiopia and trying to survive against Italy, but once you've done that, it's kind of over. You can do anything else. But the editable plane thing is really useful. Italy received like a banger. That focus tree is amazing. The fact that you can integrate your puppet industry and resources, that you can take the navy, which is a big thing, like a really big thing, makes the DLC so important to get at first. It's really useful, but the content out of it is not super interesting. Compared to No Step Back, which is the second DLC that I suggest you to buy, this DLC adds the editable tanks, which are amazing, and plus the USSR is one of those majors that have an amazing focus tree, and also the doctrine thing is kind of cool to have too. So yeah, and the first one you should buy is obviously the last one that came out. I'm not going to pronounce its name because the German viewers are not going to be so happy about it, but Gotterdammerung is a really cool DLC. The focus trees are amazing, like for Austria, for Hungary, even Belgium, and mainly Germany. So the focuses are all amazing except for Belgium, Congo, but no one's going to play that fucking country. Anyway, so I've presented you all the DLCs in the game so that you can choose the one that you want and that you can finally understand everything, because I do remember, and I still remember the fact that at the beginning when you buy a game, you don't know which DLCs you can get, you don't know which DLC adds what, and sometimes it's not really clear for a new player. So anyway, I everything that the DLCs are adding, and I've done some kind of personal ranking so that you can choose which one is best for you, following my advices. Anyway, buy the one that you want if you want to have more content on Autopoint 4 if you like this game, like I really do, even if the last one is really expensive. And that was Mist. Thank you for following me, thank you for watching me, thank you for liking my videos, and I'm not putting any pressure on you, it's just a thank you, a polite thank you for all of you. And that was Mist. Goodbye and see you soon for another video.